What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Easy Blitz podcast, episode 4. We had a bit of a break there. We took about a couple of days off. We had a lot going on with school, end of the year, all that.
Mhm.
But we're back. We're to try and get one out every single day. Thursday might be a problem because that is when we graduate, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
So what we have on the agenda today, quick episode. We're just gonna be reviewing LSU's very disappointing series against South Carolina and the SEC baseball tournament. We each have a bracket filled out. We're gonna give it to y'all. And it's gonna be quick, but it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
So I will Connor can take the floor real quick.
So, like Brock said, we're gonna try to be as consistent as we can. Like today, we're gonna try to do two. We're gonna do obviously this one that we're filming right now, and then after this, we're gonna try to do another one. To try to make up for the time because Brock obviously, as he said earlier, we graduate on Thursday and we won't be able to do one then, and probably a few other days this week we won't be able to do one just because of how
Right.
busy it's been. But once we start settling into the summer routine, we'll start to get a more consistent schedule. So,
Right.
with that being said, Brock, let's get us started on a very, like you said, disappointing, although they won the series against
Yes.
South Carolina.
Um, I'm just gonna start right here. Game one, that was atrocious. Connor, I don't know if you watched it at all. You can chime in or whatever if you have any thoughts. But started off great. First inning, Danny Dickinson hits a two-run shot, and I know every LSU fan that was watching was thinking the same thing. This can be easy. No way, like we blow this because
Was
in
that
the
the first
first,
inning?
yeah, first
Oh,
inning, and
wow.
then bottom of the first, it felt even better. Connor Ware, pretty sure he goes three up, three down. If not, he lets on a couple that I think he had a walk or two, but it was a clean inning.
Mhm.
And then second inning, top of second, I don't think we did anything, and then that's when the wheels started falling off. He walked, the bases loaded, and then luckily we brought in Jaden Newt,
He
and
walked the bases loaded.
yes, he walked the bases. It's
That
crazy. He
cannot
had
happen.
at some point in the second inning, he had three outs made and four walks. Not
Yeah,
very ideal to be a SEC pitcher.
you're not going to win
Uh,
many games with
no,
that out of your
no.
starting pitcher. So,
But of course, LSU had a chance to win this game because South Carolina is a terrible baseball team. I said it before. We all saw it. Whoever watched it, they're not good. We gave this game to them on a silver platter. Jay Johnson, Connor, I know you know where I'm going to go with this. Jake Brown.
he didn't
I
play?
didn't play game one. He came in for a pinch
Oh
hit.
my God. What did he do?
Came in, came in for a pinch hit. Guess what he did? I'll
Nope.
let you guess. No, he got a hit, but it was an RBI hit.
Oh,
Josh Pearson, the guy who was playing for him, or no, my bad. He pinch hit for Ethan Fry, who did have a really good weekend.
mm.
But still, every time he comes in, he produces. I don't know what. I
He's got
really
to be
don't
batting like
know.
what, 320? Something like
I,
that?
it has to be something crazy. I can't click on it right now, but I think the reason is every time there's a lefty on the mound, he's batting like 220. But when you don't hit against lefties, your average is going to be lower. He never hits
Yeah,
against lefties. I
because you
don't
don't see
understand.
it.
He's a good baseball player. He's gonna be drafted. He's gonna play in the MLB one day. That's how good he is. He's a
Mhm.
five-tool guy. He can run. He's good in the field. He can hit. He can do it all. I don't understand why we don't play him. Josh Pearson, he's great. I don't understand why he keeps getting starts over him. That's all I'm gonna say for that.
I feel like every time I watch him hit, Jake Brown that is, I feel like he executes.
Yes,
Whether it be moving a runner, hitting a
exactly.
bomb, or just getting a base hit. I feel like he
Even
executes.
even his strikeouts are good at bats. I feel like he always works the count.
Hmm.
He fouls pitches off, but I don't know. I'm not
Nothing
the
against Josh
coach.
Pearson, but we just
No,
think Jake
love
Brown
Josh
should be an
Pearson.
everyday guy.
I will always love Josh Pearson for saving us in the World Series in game one.
Hmm.
That leap and catch. But anyway, so after Connor Ware came out, he had a awful stat line. It was just not good. Pretty much all I got to say for that. Jay Newt came in, he really held it down. I'm trying to find the pitching stats, but I'm just gonna go off the dome. He came in, held it down pretty well. I think he threw four innings, only two hits, two earned runs. Pretty sure that was a home run. I didn't watch this whole game. I forgot where exactly I was, but I tuned back in. But he had five strikeouts. He was a dog. He was a dude. He really showed. And then we brought in Chase Shores, who also was a stud this whole weekend. I'm really excited for what he can do
He
in the
throws
postseason.
gas, bro.
Dude, I know.
He
I
throws
think I
gas.
like him better at the
Is he
bullpen
a
because like
freshman?
when Shores,
Yeah.
no, he's a redshirt sophomore.
Okay.
He was a freshman on the 23 team, and then he tours UCL, and he
All right.
missed all of 24.
Mhm.
That's honestly why he's had such a slow start because he hadn't thrown in 2 years.
Yeah. He throws hard.
Um, yeah, I like him in the bullpen more because it's more high leverage. He can gas it up a little bit more, and then the slider's disgusting. When he can
Mhm.
snap that off, it's disgusting. But yeah, I like what Shores is at going into the postseason. Now, some guy who's trending down, who's been so reliable for us all year, is Zach Cowan. I would say 2 out of the last 3 series, he's been getting roughed up bad. Remember that A&M series, he gave up the lead in game 3, and
South
then
Carolina hit him around.
yes, they
I
had
think there was
four.
discussions for like him being the best reliever in baseball.
He was, and then
Yeah.
I think people more films getting out on him at changeup. That's really his strikeout pitch, his go-to, and more teams are keying in on it. I think. And they're able to hit it. Like he threw 1 and 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a
Yikes.
walk,
That's
which
not
he
good.
never walks people, and his 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and then obviously the wild pitch to end the game. Just an overall disgusting game. Very inexcusable. It's that's why this team, many people don't see them as contenders because that bullpen is so hit or
Shaky.
miss.
Hmm.
They're either really, really good, like Shores and Newt, or they can be really, really bad. Like I'm not gonna name anybody, but obviously, okay, Connor Ware had a rough start, but there's other people in that bullpen who really struggle.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna get away from that game. Game 2, this is what we all expected. Game 1 to look like Cade Anderson. He shoved. He was what Cade Anderson does. Not
And then
much to touch on this game.
Ianson also shoved.
I said, yeah. One thing I do want to say, Jared Jones 3 for 3 in game 2, and he hit 2 home runs that I don't think either one of them have landed yet. I don't know if you saw those.
Oh my, no, I did.
Oh
My
my
God, they
Lord,
were bombs.
he's turning it on. I know he was in a slump for a bit. I think he's fine for the postseason,
Yeah.
especially since it's gonna be going through the box. Something else to touch on. Oh, I'm sorry, I just completely skipped over this. Game 1, Michael Braswell was unbelievable in his return back to Columbia or Columbus, whatever. He was 3 for 3. I think he had 2 extra base hits. He was lights out. He was the
Really?
only thing good about game 1. So yeah, game 2, not much to talk
Did
about, except
Case and Evans ever pitch this series?
yes, he threw this game. I actually wanted to talk about that. He came in and really struggled to Case and Evans.
He
Like,
struggled too.
yeah, well, to his standard, yes, he threw. I think he came in the seventh to like kind of clean it up, and then he came back in the eighth, and while the numbers don't look bad, he didn't give up any runs or anything. Walks were an issue. I think he loaded the bases and got out of it without any damage. And then, I mean, the ninth inning, we were up 8-1. We brought in Grant Fontenot, who never pitches, just to
Is
come
that
in
the
and take
lefty?
care of it. No, he's a righty. He see, you don't even know who he is because he barely
Oh, I'm
pitches
thinking
all
about
year.
Primo. I'm thinking about
Yeah,
Primo.
no disrespect to Grant Fontenot. I forgot he was even on the team, to be
Did
honest.
Gavin Gidry get hurt again?
Yeah, he did something with his back. They haven't really came out and said it, but it's something he did
So
something to his back.
is he done for the year?
Yeah, they're gonna redshirt
Oh,
him this year, so he comes back next year.
that sucks.
But yeah, Jay Johnson's famous for not letting anybody know what injuries are. Like when Chase Shores tore his elbow in 2023, he never like came out and said, yeah, he has a torn UCL.
Mm.
I think Chase Shores had to come out and say that.
Jesus,
But
man,
yeah.
come on.
Uh, yeah, I mean, game 2 was game 2. It was dominant. It's what we should have done game 1. It's what LSU baseball should do to a team like South Carolina, who's having a down year this year. Game 3, similar. It was a little shaky at first. If you're watching in the second inning, I think the first 3 innings, Ianson, his pitch count was getting up really high. He was walking guys who that's very uncharacteristic for him. Uh, Strikeout numbers were still there, of course, because he's one of the best strikeout pitchers in the nation. I think going into this game, he had 116 strikeouts. That's
Jeez,
unbelievable.
yeah.
Uh, and um, yeah, I mean, um, they played well. They did what they had to do. They got the series done, even though it wasn't pretty. It was a good series
Still
win.
got the series win. Yeah.
Yep.
Do
Um,
you, so I've been seeing like mock drafts for the MLB. Do you think Cade Anderson's going to be a top five pick?
no, I think he'll be top 15 for sure, not top five.
Because I was seeing things like he would go number three overall. I was like, whoa, that
That's,
might be a little tall, but
I mean,
he's gross. I mean,
yeah, if he top 15 for sure, he might squeak in the top five because he's legit.
yeah,
Like, I could see it. Now that you said that a lot, I could see it.
we'll see. We'll
And
see.
now we're gonna pivot to the SEC tournament, my favorite time of the year as a baseball fan. I
Yes, sir.
love waking up early on this Tuesday morning and just watching baseball all day. Um, Game one. Oh,
We
yeah,
got.
Connor, you gonna pull it up? All right, perfect. So we'll both give our picks because we did both make a bracket. Connor, I'll let you start since I kind of
All
talked for
right.
a while.
So first game, let's just go game by game, Brock.
Yeah.
First game, Alabama, Missouri. If you have Missouri winning this game, then something is wrong with you. Missouri is god
Yes.
awful, and Alabama's actually pretty good. So I'm
You're
gonna
either a Missouri fan or you don't watch baseball.
exactly. So I'm gonna take the, or you might think the higher number, the better the team is. But I got number nine Alabama beating Missouri to play Tennessee.
Yep.
I'm sure you have the same. Not much to be said there.
Yes. 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 Yeah. Missouri's awful.
Yep. All right, then moving down to game two, I have Oklahoma beating Kentucky. Although Oklahoma's the 12 seed, I mean, that just shows you how good the SEC is.
That's oh yeah. Oklahoma was on the verge of hosting a regional and they're a 12 seed in the tournament.
That's
And
unbelievable.
Oklahoma has a top five uh, MLB prospect as their number one pitcher, and Kentucky's not going to hit him.
Nope.
Kyson Witherspoon, I think I brought him up in a previous episode. He's legit. So Oklahoma's going to dog walk Kentucky in game one.
Mhm. I agree. Then we move on to game three. We have the South Carolina Gamecocks, who LSU just played like we just covered, versus the Florida Gators, who haven't really been turning it on lately. I have Florida. Florida shot up all the way to number 15 in the latest poll. Did you see that?
Crazy, yeah. They
Yeah.
were, yeah, that's
So I'm gonna
insane.
have Florida winning this game and going pretty far in the tournament.
I agree with everything you just said. That they're red hot right now. I have them winning this and going pretty deep, but not as deep as Connor may have. And I'll get to that reason why. I think the way that the SEC set up the bracket this year is stupid.
Mhm. All right, moving on to the final game in the first round, A&M versus Mississippi State. I'll take A&M in this one. Um, I think they can catch fire behind Laviolette, and I really don't know too much about State. So
These are just two very inconsistent teams. I think both of them need. I think Mississippi State's in the postseason anyway, and A&M needs to win to try and keep their postseason hopes alive. So I am going to go with A&M, but
mhm.
it could go either way. I mean, these two teams have been have a rough year.
Yeah, I mean A&M was preseason ranked number one.
Yes,
So,
that's
um,
insane.
all right, moving on to game number five, Alabama versus Tennessee. I really don't like Tennessee as a team, so that's why I'm going to have the Crimson Tide winning and advancing to play number one Texas. Right.
That's yeah. Tennessee's in the exact opposite of Florida right now. They've been falling off a cliff. I think they lost four of the last five series or something like
Really?
that.
Damn.
Yeah, they lost to a bad Kentucky team. Not bad, and not very. They're not bad. They're not good Kentucky team.
Mhm.
They just lost to LSU and Arkansas, as we know, and they lost to somebody else. I'm not going to touch on that. Um, I do have Tennessee winning, and for the reason that I'm going to talk about later, it's that Tennessee's going to have their game one starter, Liam Doyle, who is
Gross.
disgusting. He's the best pitcher in the
Gross.
country, behind Cade Anderson. Because we own Liam Doyle, and don't ever forget that Liam Doyle. You want to keep chirping at our players like I think Jake. You chirped at Jake Brown after a walk, and look what happened. You lost. So I'm going to take Tennessee in this game because Bama's going to have their number two pitcher. I would think, unless they throw him against Missouri.
I
But yeah,
don't. I'd imagine honestly, Bama would probably go there two or three against
yeah. Now
Missouri.
that that's the only way, the only time that their number one pitcher is not going to throw game one is going to happen in this tournament. I don't know how I worded that really weird.
But again,
Oh,
Missouri would be the team just because they're so
yes,
weak.
yes, that Missouri's god awful.
Yeah.
Like they're well, now that we're saying that they'll probably go win tomorrow, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to watch that game tomorrow, to be honest. And I want to watch all the games because they're so bad.
Mhm.
That's enough talking about Missouri. I feel a little bad now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tennessee's winning this one.
All right, moving on to game number six, Georgia, and we both have Oklahoma advancing against Kentucky. Um, I really don't know much about Georgia, to be perfectly honest with you, But I did watch Oklahoma a little bit against LSU, and I mean LSU kind of handled them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Georgia
Um, uh,
for no particular
yeah,
reason.
that's understandable. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma
Okay.
because they've been playing well recently, and also I don't know if you know, but Georgia plays on a extremely small field. It's the smallest field in the SEC.
Is that
So
why
they just
Charlie Condon hit so many home runs
yes,
last year?
yes, they hit a million home runs every year, and uh, the Hoover is the exact opposite of that field. Hoover is the biggest field that any of these teams will play on. It's
Okay.
very hard to hit home runs, and Georgia relies on the home run ball. That's why we saw last year Georgia lost game one to LSU, of course, because they rely on the home run. They couldn't hit home runs.
Yeah.
This field's enormous. So I'm going to take Oklahoma in this game for an upset.
Fair enough. All right, moving on to game number 7. We both have Florida against Ole Miss. I'm gonna take Florida in this one just because they're playing really good baseball right now.
Same here. Nothing really to touch on. It's same here.
Okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
anything about Ole Miss this year, to be honest.
So Brock, who'd you have winning game 4?
Game four. I had A&M.
All right, so we both have A&M Auburn. Shout out Rue and Brad on this one.
Yep.
I think their guy's name is Sam Dutton, the pitcher.
Yep.
Sam Dutton.
Although I was talking to Brad, and I don't know how much he watches Auburn baseball. He sounded pretty reliable. He said Sam Dutton's been struggling recently.
Really? Okay.
He did say if Auburn's going to lose, it's going to be because of their pitching.
Right. The
So we'll
A&M's
see.
gonna have to throw their guy in their first game, so they're gonna have Dutton ready to go. So maybe it just needs a little break, you know. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna take Auburn here.
Yeah. I will also take Auburn. Um, Auburn is probably a top three team in this bracket, if I'm being honest. They could easily win it, but they could also easily lose game one. That's just how the SEC baseball's been this year.
Exactly, and that's just how the game of baseball is. Period.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the quarterfinals. We have. Do we both have Tennessee? Or no,
Yeah.
you have Tennessee. I have Bama. Right?
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to take Texas on this one. Texas is a really good team, obviously, but I
Hmm.
do think they have holes. Like I
Yes.
feel like when watching Texas, like it's not like there's some consensus number one overall team. You know, they
Yeah.
definitely have
I agree.
their holes, but I'm gonna take Texas over Bama.
Yes. I can't stand either of these teams, and I'm actually picking the team that I can't stand more, which is Tennessee. That pains me to pick Tennessee, but
Ah,
Tennessee's number two pitcher is unhittable. We saw that when LSU played him, Marcus Phillips. And then Texas State obviously lost their number one pitcher early in the season, Jared Spencer, I think his name is.
mhm.
Um, I'm taking Tennessee. I think they're gonna, what am I trying to say? They're gonna beat Texas in this game because their pitching is better.
Fair enough.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I just don't like Tennessee, so I can't pick them going far.
Yeah,
So then I have Georgia versus Vanderbilt. I really like Vanderbilt this year, so I'm gonna have Vanderbilt moving on to play Texas.
yeah. Vanderbilt's underrated. Haven't really heard much about him.
No, you
But
really haven't this year.
they keep winning. So I'm gonna take them to win. They're gonna have their number one pitcher against Oklahoma's number three, which is exactly what I was saying earlier. The way the bracket set up is stupid. You got the top four teams all have the number one pitchers going against the possible chance of a number three pitcher for the bottom teams.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Alrighty.
I'm
So
struggling with words today. I don't know what's going on.
it's all good, Brock. We all do. So I have Florida taking on Arkansas here. I'm riding the hot hand. Give me Florida to take down the number 2 team, Arkansas.
Yeah, same reason I picked Vandy. Really, it's gonna be Arkansas's ace versus Florida's number three. I don't know who Florida's number three is, but he's not better than Zach Root. So I'm gonna take Arkansas.
Looking at this, it's kind of crazy how 4 teams get 2 like
A double
round
bye.
buys.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
baseball, that's absurd because of
yeah.
pitching, you know. But uh, but
I
whatever.
agree.
We don't make the
Yeah.
rules. It's gonna help our Tigers. So I'm gonna
Yes.
have Auburn moving on to play LSU.
Yep.
Um, you know, I like Auburn as a team, and I've heard a lot of good things about them from Brad and Gianni. However, uh, LSU's gonna have Cade Anderson going in this game.
Exactly.
So
It's
good
gonna
luck with
be
that.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, LSU doesn't need to win this tournament, but
No.
with Cade Anderson throwing, I don't anticipate him letting him go very far. To be honest, like I remember 2023, they let Skeens throw game one, but he was on a pitch count because you didn't really need to win this tournament.
So like they don't. So I guess the SEC tournament really like the
It can
teams that
only
would take
help.
it seriously are the teams that need a
Yes,
automatic bid.
like LSU last year.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
needed to win. If they didn't win game one, they weren't going to make the postseason. Like
Exactly.
that was a real conversation, and then they ended up being a two seed
And then
and
they
were
made the
one.
supers, huh?
No, they were one out away from the super regional. That
Okay,
was
so
when.
the UNC regional was
Yep.
it was okay. Sensitive topic there. Moving
Yeah.
on to moving on to the semis, I have Texas over or playing Vanderbilt. I have Vanderbilt winning this game. I've watched the really only Vanderbilt baseball I watched was against Tennessee, and they smacked them up.
Hmm.
And I like the energy just because I don't like Tennessee that much.
I hate
They all
Tennessee.
Tennessee's always chirping, and Vanderbilt really stuck it to them. So I'm gonna
I
have
s-
the
yeah,
Vandy
like
boys in the championship.
just a quick side note. I was watching a video and it was Tennessee playing Vanderbilt and the bench is cleared. And and somebody commented, it's crazy how every time Tennessee loses, you hear something about like chirping or benches clearing. It's like they're the biggest sore losers in the country.
Yeah,
Name a tournament or a series where they have lost and they didn't like try to
there
pick a
wasn't
fight.
like some altercation.
No,
Yeah,
there's
I know what
always
you're saying.
something. There's always something.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have Tennessee versus Vandy, and I'm taking Vandy again, because Vandy owns Tennessee.
Very good.
Um, and yeah, I don't like Tennessee.
Good. So here I have LSU versus Florida. What do you have, Brock?
I have LSU versus Arkansas.
Okay. So I'm gonna take Florida over my Tigers here. A, just to
Ooh,
spice it up a little bit, just to change it. But B, I mean,
yeah,
Florida's playing good baseball, and it is Florida. And, Florida's a blue blood baseball school. Even though they only have, what, one national title when they beat LSU a few years back with Kramer.
yep, yep,
So Florida's a recent blue blood. But I don't know, like I said, I think um, hot bats in baseball is very important, and I'm gonna ride that to the
yeah,
championship game. So I got Florida and Vandy in the
yeah.
championship.
Um, I have Arkansas playing LSU, but I want to touch on that. Like if I was picking LSU Florida, this is not just me because I'm an LSU fan. I would lean LSU because they would have Ianson against who for
A
Florida. They
bullpen
would,
game,
yeah, and
Johnny Hallstaff.
a good pitcher can shut down good hitters.
Hmm.
So I don't know, but with that being said, I'm taking LSU anyway. LSU owns Arkansas. Shout out Alec Poe. Um,
We love you still, Alec.
love you, Alec. Arkansas baseball. They're weird. They swept Texas and then they looked awful against LSU. That's just how SEC baseball is this year. Everybody's inconsistent.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm gonna have our Tigers rolling to the championship.
Beautiful. All right, so I have Florida playing Vanderbilt, and I told Brock before this I would take Florida to win it all. However, I'm going to take Vandy. I really like Vandy this year, and I think they're
Yeah.
going to do damage past the SEC tournament too.
I also have Vandy winning it all. Um, Not much to touch on. It would be LSU's game three starter, who we've seen has been abysmal, whoever it
Yikes.
is,
Hmm.
against Vandy. And I don't know who their game three starter is, but it's probably better than LSU's.
Yep.
And I just want to, this is literally just a regular weekend series for the top four teams. They get their Friday night, Saturday
Just
night, and
against
Sunday night.
different teams. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Like the top four seeds have a significant advantage against
It's
everybody else.
huge. It's huge.
Like that, thank God LSU got that double bye.
Mhm.
Like it's a huge difference.
Really. It is. Um, all right. Well, I think that does it for this first episode today.
Yeah.
Um,
Told you keep it short and sweet. Just
yep.
getting an episode out there because we missed a bunch over the weekend.
Hmm. Thank you to all those who support, even if you don't support. Thank you for watching.
Yes,
Um, we're gonna keep doing it because we love
yes,
it.
we will. Tell your friends to tell your friends. Like and subscribe. Follow the TikTok. We
Instagram
have it
might be coming soon. Might be
possibly,
coming soon. So
possibly.
stay tuned for that.
Um, but yeah, that's it
That's
for
it.
this episode. We'll be back soon for the next episode. It's a
All
more
right,
fun
and
episode.
we might have an intro coming soon too. So
Yes, we're
that would be
working on
pretty
that.
fire.
Working on it.
But all right, until next time, fellas. See ya.
Yes, sir. See you.